Your boy is coming in hot with the news flash. Breaking news. I'm not sure you knew this or not, but you are not the only one that has bad things happening to them. I'm sorry, but you are not special in this roller coaster called life. We all have ups and we all have downs. But the question for today is, who will you be when that moment strikes?
The Creator Podcast.
My name is Dion Williams, aka Dion Does, and I truly believe that we were all created in the image of the ultimate creator, and therefore it's in us all to create. And this show aims to help you and I both level up in this four-dimensional game of life so that we can go out and create for good, whether that's for ourselves, our family, the community around us, but all of this a part of a generational vision of a family of creators coming together to be the difference. Let's be the difference, creator family. Welcome back to the Creator Podcast. So glad to have you here. I'm feeling good, man. I feel like last episode was the first one where we kind of got in and got out like I wanted to. It wasn't rushed. I got the point across. It felt good. So I'm going to do my best to keep that same energy from here on out. And I feel like the topic for today will allow me to do that because it's very simple. And let's not complicate it, people. Now, this may require a little bit of thought, a little bit of pondering after we're done, and that is good. Any episode that kind of sparks that in you, that just kind of has you sitting there just thinking, just meditating. And maybe that's what I think that's what we're going to do. We are going to let the beat ride at the end of this episode, and all I want you guys to do is just meditate on it. And we might do that more often. I like that. I really, really like that. So I'm going to talk about some things. There's going to be thoughts going on through your head as I'm going. But afterwards, very, very important that you let it digest. So I just want you to meditate on it. When we talk about putting some feet to it, I want you to just meditate on that. And then you can go on with your day. The question I'm asking, and we're going to follow it up with the principle. But the question is, who will you be? Very, very, very simple. You see, we all have things that happen, like I said, both good and bad. Doesn't matter whether you're rich, you're poor, you're black, you're white, you're skinny, you're heavy. It doesn't matter, right? We all have good and bad things happen, but if you pay close attention, you could have two people go through the exact same thing, but have different results or a different outcome. Okay. And the principle today is I want to remind you guys that you have the ability to choose. You can choose who you will be in any given moment. Steve Backley said, like everything in life, it is not what happens to you, but how you respond to it that counts. One more time, like everything in life, it is not what happens to you, but how you respond to it that counts. You got to remember, man, stuff happens every day to everyone. The difference is how you respond. And so, and this is a thought. What's crazy is I was actually going to record something else for the podcast that was going to go up for today. But this just, I don't know. It just overtook my heart, and I just had to speak on this. So I would appreciate if this blessed you, if this came right in time, if it was something you needed. Maybe if you're listening to this in the future, who knows? Well, after it was posted, let me know. You can get at your boy on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of that. It means a lot. Let me know that this blessed you, if it did. You can also leave a review, 5 stars, whatever app you're listening on. Also leave a comment. Those really make me happy. They make me want to cry, honestly. I appreciate you guys. They're very, very kind. Now, man, this is something that's actually been, I don't know where it came from, but it's been like in the forefront of my mind for the last about maybe a month or so. I think a lot of the pandemic talk really sparked it because it's a pretty big deal. It shifted a lot of our lives, some more than others. But in one way or another, it's affecting you. And I can't shake the thought of just, all right, how am I going to respond to this? Because some people, I really believe, will just get steamrolled by it. Some things may be out of your control to an extent. Like if your job, I have some friends that they just found out they were kind of on. They weren't like they still had a chance that they were going to go back to their job. It just got shut down for a while, but it was official now that it's closed. They got to file for unemployment, try to find something else. Like, it's done. And that news sucks. Especially when, I got another friend that didn't really have stuff saved up, and it's a scramble for them trying to figure things out. They didn't have control on whether they were going to get fired or not, whether their job was just going to disappear. They didn't have control on whether a pandemic was going to break out, right? We can't control those things. But as a creator, as you're moving with the identity of a creator, we're not focusing on lack and scarcity and what we don't have and what we can't control, but what we do focus on is what we can, okay? And that's just been my thought through this whole thing. Like, there's things that have happened to me that I couldn't affect, things that I couldn't see coming. But I can't lay down to this. It's definitely caused some more challenges, some more concerns. But what's important for me is to focus on what I can respond and respond in the best, most abundant way possible in the moment. Now, this isn't reserved for a pandemic, and that's where the thought came from, but it's been following me in other places in my life, right? There might be a moment where me and my wife, there may be a moment of tension. And the question still applies. Who will you be in this moment right now? And who I decide to be. And I think that's what we forget sometimes. We're always reacting, right? We're always in this reactionary mode where someone says something crazy, so you get mad. And then you may even blame the other person for your response as if you didn't have control, right? Someone is rude, you're rude back, and it was their fault. Or, you're stressed out, and your brain tells you that you want to eat, but you're not hungry. But you're just used to responding and overeating, right? There's so many different. If we pull out the creator frame across faith, relationships, energy, economics, there's so many opportunities every single day where we get the opportunity to pick, right? And there's movies, right? I'm playing a scary game right now on one of my channels, and I'm thinking of like a scary movie. Think of the scary movies where things break out. Maybe there's a crazy killer out on the loose, and you see how different people respond. You could be the guy that doesn't take it serious. You think it's a game, and you end up getting your head sliced off. You could be the person that panics in fear and just shuts down and is paralyzed and can't even think straight in the moment. Right? And then you have other people that almost rise as the hero. The pressure, instead of bursting the pipe, creates the diamond. And that's the mindset I want to have, like I said, not only in this pandemic, but in every area of my life. And it's just been constantly in my head when little things happen. Like, all right, how are you going to respond to this? Okay? And man, and I think a lot of us, I don't want to say all of us, I don't know your story, but I know a lot of us have had times where we didn't respond how we should have, right? Maybe you were tempted by something, and instead of being true to who you are, maybe you slipped or slid back on your character and who you wanted to be in the moment, and you messed up. Maybe you messed up bad. I know I've been there. I want you to use those as learning lessons. That's what I do, right? I have times looking back where I'm like, man, Dion, you could have did better. That was not you in the moment. That's not how you want to be. That's not how you want to raise your kids. That is not the man that you want to be known as. I've dropped the ball. I've messed up. And I think across all of the phases, faith, relationships, energy, economics, and instead of us perpetually making these, I think we need to take those on the chin and learn the lessons. Like, okay, I may have dropped the ball completely. My team needed me. It was the fourth quarter. They gave me the final shot, and I blew it, man. Boy, did I blow it. But there's going to be another game. Just like there's another day. Even after you mess up the most, there will always be, I don't want to get too crazy because we never know when we're going to take our last breath. And so we don't want to live recklessly and just say, I'll just fix it tomorrow. No, we want to move with urgency and move in truth And it is true that we don't know. One day it will be our last breath. But until then, there will be a tomorrow. And if there is a tomorrow, you can do better. Right? And so this isn't to make you feel bad if you've blown it majorly and you know you have. All right? This is to motivate you and to remember the weight of that. Like the bigger you've messed up, almost the better. I want you to hold on to that weight and how it felt and use that as momentum, as leverage for you to remember in the future moments that come up. Right? It may be in a relationship of yours, right? Maybe you had an opportunity to move with kindness or grace or understanding, and you moved out of judgment or anger or violence, right? And you dropped the ball. Now, when those moments come up in the relationship, remember that. Remember how much you hurt yourself or you let yourself down when you didn't follow through like you know you could have. And when these moments arise again, remember your power as a creator to choose. Who will you be today? Who will you be in this moment as this pandemic is striking and people are fearful? People are going crazy. Your situation may have gone crazy. Like your situation may look completely different than it did a month ago. Unfortunately, you're not the only person. And the difference is, how will you respond? I'm going to run it back one more time for you. Steve Backley says, like everything in life, it is not what happens to you, but how you respond that counts. We got to put some feet to it. So I'm definitely going to give you guys some time to meditate on this. And but for some of you guys, as I'm talking about this, you already have stuff that's blatantly sticking out. Maybe you're sitting in the middle of a financial crisis. You just lost your job. And everything in you wants you to pout, wants you to make excuses, wants you to blame others. But what is that going to do? Is it going to make money appear? I'm willing to bet it won't. What can you do? Who will you choose to be? This is your movie. And the beauty is you get to be any character that you want. You could be the scaredy cat. You could be the clown. Or you could be the hero. You really could. Maybe you're in a health crisis. This is one of the things I applaud my wife on. This is why she's Superwoman to me. She goes through so much pain with the many, many illnesses that she's fighting. And her ability to wake up and choose to be the greatest version of herself on a daily basis after just getting beat up physically sometimes, like horribly, having the worst day, and the mom that she chooses to be, the wife that she chooses to be, the businesswoman that she chooses to be is inspiring. And that motivates me. And so I'm asking you, as you look across the creator frame, your faith, your relationships, your energy, your economics, the 4 dimensions of this life, of this game that we call life, this roller coaster that we call life, where are the major pain points right now? Let's just focus on, I'm going to give you guys one for now, but this is something, like I said, you want to move this across every area of your life. And I want you to ask yourself a simple question. Who am I going to be in the middle of this storm? And it may not be a storm. It may be a strong wind. But we all have them storms that hit. And when it does, I want you to ask yourself this question. Please remember this episode. But whatever you got going on, big or small right now, please, let's start with the biggest, right? If there's one that's just jumping out, boom. Let's go with that. But if not, pick something and ask yourself, who am I going to be in this situation? That's it. That's the question. Who will you be? You can acknowledge who you're tempted to be, and maybe that's not who you want to be, but I want you to decide and put it on paper. Write it out. It doesn't have to be long. It does not have to be long, but write it out. There's power in that. And I want you to just meditate on that. So if you don't have it now, you can use the rest of this time. So I'm going to restart the beat here, and I just want you to think about it. Okay? Think about it for a little bit, and if you have it already, maybe you use this time to vibe out and start writing it out. And if you're bold enough to actually do this, you don't have to send me the screenshot. You can, but just get at me. Let me know. I'm curious. I love you guys, and I love serving you guys, and I do this because I care, not just about the collective number. Last I checked, we were in 47 countries. I don't know where we're at now, but not just those numbers going up. I care about the individual, every individual listening to this podcast, because I know you got a story, and I know you got some challenges just like I do. And I would love to hear if you're willing to share. It's not a requirement. But if you're willing to share, I would love to know what you got going on in your life and who you decided to be despite that as a creator, living in abundance and not scarcity. I love you guys. Also, check out freecreatorcode.com. That's the place to be, man. If you want to live this creator lifestyle, get your free training, get the free printouts, put it everywhere you can. Everywhere. I love you guys. Again, the question is, who are you going to be? Who will you be? Because it's not about what happens to you. We all have stuff that happens. Man, my wife follows a lot of people that have a lot of the similar health issues. But boy, do they all respond differently. I've seen it completely destroy people's lives. Their marriages, their children, their whole family is struggling and suffering because of it. And my wife has found a way to use that as a catapult and to inspire thousands. Who are you going to be? I love you guys. Vibe out. Till next time. God first. God bless.